Hey, hello, folks. Hope you're doing well today. I'm sorry that I'm not able to be in class today, but I would like to just sort of run through the end of this lecture with all of you. We started looking at the overall structure of the nervous system. We know that, sorry, this is jumping around all over the place. So we know that the nervous system helps control other tissues in the body and relay information and instructions throughout the body. The central nervous system, that's the decider, that again contains those interneurons that make decisions about whether or not to send electrical impulses that would instruct other parts of the body what to do. And then the wires that run to and fro through the body are in the peripheral nervous system that you see in the outline there. That's taking sensory information to your brain and spinal cord, and it's carrying instructions out from your brain and spinal cord. Neurons bundled together form nerves, and those are the wires that run throughout the body. Okay, there are three types of neurons you need to be familiar with. Again, the interneurons are the deciders. They're in your central nervous system, and if they receive enough excitatory postsynaptic potentials, then they send an action potential. If they don't receive enough excitatory postsynaptic potentials, then they won't fire, and the message will never be sent to muscles or glands. Now, sensory neurons are all over the body. They're inside your body. They're on the surface of your body. They detect what's going on in and around you, and they send that sensory information to your interneurons. If a decision is made that the body needs to respond somehow, then instructions are carried out through motor neurons. Motor neurons run to muscles and glands and tells them what to do. Now, let's take a closer look at your peripheral nervous system. Again, peripheral nervous system, they're the wires that connect to your brain and spinal cord. Think of the peripherals that attach to a computer screen. So they send information to your brain and spinal cord and carry instructions from the brain and spinal cord, again, to your muscles and glands. So the decisions are made in the central nervous system, and then the instructions come out. Now, you'll notice that the instructions get subdivided, right? So you have two divisions of your two sensory divisions of your peripheral nervous system, sorry. Somatosensory, soma means body. So those are detecting all sorts of types of stimuli around the body. It could be pain receptors, temperature receptors, sense of smell, things of that. We have receptors for capsaicin, which is a protein that causes a sense of pain. And menthol actually stimulates cold receptors. So if menthol is used like in minty stuff, it actually stimulates cold receptors, and that's why it feels the way it does. Viscerosensory is more about what's going on inside, like gut stuff. So again, you can feel proprioceptors that allow you to sense the position of your extremities in space. You can sense the tension in your blood vessels. You can feel your stomach stretch when you're full. That's all viscerosensory. Visceral means guts. So somatosensory is body. That's like touch and smell and that kind of stuff. And then viscerosensory is your gut organs. So that's the sensory division. That's carrying information to your brain and spinal cord. So if we look at the diagram here, sensory is detecting what's going on in you and around you. And then that sends information to your central nervous system. Then your central nervous system sends instructions out back through peripheral nerves as well. Now, the motor division carries instructions to muscles and glands. The motor division is also subdivided into somatic or autonomic. The somatic is probably what you're most familiar with. That is carrying instructions to your muscles. So you have conscious control over your muscles. So the somatic division, you consciously control. Now, again, stuff may be routine, like tying your shoes or driving a car or writing or typing, but you still make a decision to engage those muscles. So that's somatic. Autonomic, the way I remember that, I think that it's automatic. That is not under conscious control. So that's usually like gut organs or internal organs. So you don't have to like tell your bladder to contract. You don't have to tell blood vessels in your body to dilate or constrict. You don't have to tell your pupils to constrict or widen. That stuff is taken care of automatically. So when you send instructions out through the motor division, somatic runs to your skeletal muscles and you have conscious control over that. Autonomic, again, it's on autopilot. Your nervous system takes care of it, but you don't have direct conscious control over that. So we'll talk about the ramifications of that, especially in later units. Okay. That autonomic nervous system, the one that's not under conscious control, it actually also subdivides into sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions. So this is the instructions that run to organs and glands that you don't have conscious control over. Again, think of like your heart, your diaphragm, your intestines, your blood vessels, all those instructions. So when we subdivide those wires, they can either be sympathetic or parasympathetic. Think sympathetic stimulates. It revs your body up for the fight or flight or freeze response. So it gets you ready to like try and help yourself survive. So that can increase your heart rate, increase your blood pressure, divert blood from your guts to your extremities so you can power your arms and legs. It'll widen your pupils. It'll release sugar into your bloodstream. Again, it gets you pumped up, ready to try and do what you have to do to survive. For parasympathetic, I think it's peaceful. It's resting and digesting. In the poster thing you're going to be working on, I try to draw a little figure, a stick figure, like relaxing at the beach. Okay. So the parasympathetic division is the division of the autonomic nervous system that calms the body down. So it lowers heart rate, blood pressure. It diverts blood from the extremities to your guts. Your pupils can constrict, and it helps you relax. So our bodies are constantly in this balance of sympathetic activity or parasympathetic activity. And if a person tends to be sort of keyed up, then the sympathetic nervous system predominates. If a person tends to be pretty low key and relaxed, then parasympathetic predominates. And what we can do is through conscious focus of our awareness is practices that activate the parasympathetic nervous system and help calm the body. So understanding how this stuff works and is subdivided allows us to sort of take control of it. And then we can try to make our parasympathetic division of the autonomic nervous system sort of win out and help calm the body. Okay, so putting it all together, the nervous system does three basic jobs. It detects what's going on in and around you. Those are your sensory neurons, both viscerosensory and somatosensory. Then it sends the information to your central nervous system where you have the interneurons. Interneurons, they are the deciders. They decide, should we do something about this or not? And then instructions are sent out through the motor neurons. Motor neurons can go to somatic motor, where you have conscious control over it, or your autonomic nervous system, where you don't have conscious control over it. And then, of course, we subdivide the autonomic into sympathetic and parasympathetic. So you can rev the body up, get ready to fight or flee, or you can calm it down. And by being able to sort of control the activity of our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, we can sort of influence the way we feel to a certain degree. All right. If you would, summarize those notes, and then you can move on to the big CNS, PNS drawing activity where you're going to be comparing and contrasting things. Thank you so much for sticking with this.